Hey, George.
Hey, Nick.
Sorry to interrupt this episode of Reslayer's Take, but we have to tell the people about ButcherBox.
Oh, yeah. Listen, friends, we only do ads for sponsors we think are great, and ButcherBox is on our good list.
ButcherBox sent us each a customized box of high-quality meat, and they were so freaking good. It's so convenient having a box of incredible meat in your freezer without ever having to step foot in a grocery store.
And the greatest part? This antibiotic-free and humanely raised meat comes with plenty of curated tips and recipes. So whipping up awesome dinners is a cinch.
These prices are impossible to beat for the quality, and where the heck else can you get free protein for a whole dang year? Not the grocery store. So sign up at butcherbox.com/reslayer and get our special deal.
ButcherBox is offering our listeners a free for a year offer plus an additional $20 off. Choose chicken breast, salmon, or ground beef free in every order for a year. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/reslayer and use code RESLAYER to choose your free for a year offer, plus $20 off your first order.
Let's get grilling.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Welcome to the Reslayer's Take. I'm George Primavera.
And I'm Nick Williams. In this podcast, George and I lead a group of players through an exciting improvised adventure in Exandria, the magical world of Critical Role.
We're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but you won't need to know the rules to follow along. All you need to know is that nothing the players do is scripted or planned, and their fates are determined by their own cleverness and the random chance of rolling a 20-sided die.
You can listen to new episodes of the Reslayer's Take every Monday, anywhere you stream podcasts.
Or if you want to listen to the podcast 2 weeks early and uninterrupted by ads, join Beacon at beacon.tv.
Last but certainly not least, if you're enjoying the story, please consider leaving a rating and review. Your feedback might inspire someone new to join this adventure.
Now, without further ado,
welcome to the Reslayer's Take.
Farah, Frog, Hira, Timpani, and Poogs wake up bright and early in the morning the next day. After a nice long rest, decompressing from Osisa's frightening visions and riddles and stifling the pain of Idrin's departure, we see each of them moving about their individualized floors of the 5-floor apartment building, gifted to them by their new benefactors, the Slayer's Take. There is a modicum of anticipation in the air ahead of the group's day of shopping in Vasselheim's outer markets. As we move up through the apartment building, we see the ground floor, which belongs to Farah.
Farah's claimed the bottom floor so she doesn't have to walk up the stairs. Having woken up on a mattress for the first time in several years, Farah's back feels so much better. She heads to the kitchen and peruses around the cabinets.
Farah, roll an investigation check.
14?
Several roaches desperately flee from the now illuminated inner cabinet, and basic chef's tools and some ingredients are revealed.
Farah picks up the sugar, puts it in another container, labels it salt, and puts it on Poogs' floor.
As Farah walks up the one set of stairs to Poogs' floor, she opens the door, seeing that Poogs has set up everything very low to the ground and only in the center of the otherwise quite expansive room. Hey Farah, what's up?
Oh, I found some of your special cupcake ingredient, salt.
Oh, thank you so much. This is awesome. I just ran out. That's so thoughtful of you. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, see ya.
You never come and talk like this.
Nope. And Farah walks out.
Huh. She contains multitudes. And the door closes. As Farah trudges down the stairs, she feels stronger than she has in the past, gaining 1 level in Bloodhunter. Moving up the stairs even further, we reach Frog's floor.
Frog sits crisscross applesauce on the floor of her room. In front of her, she has her journal and the new monster tome. On the walls of her room, she has plastered crude sketches that Frog has done of her friends, including her old monk friend Delmi and Idrin. She sits and meditates on all the lessons she has learned so far, and daydreams of the gilded visions of Aor that Osisa showed her.
Frog, as you meditate, you feel a natural calmness settle within your steel. You gain another level as a monk. As you continue your tranquil trance, we leave this room, moving to the floor above. Hira is asleep, though twitching restlessly. Hira, in your slumber, you dream of smoke and a low orange glow. A roaring begins to creep into your ears, of fire consuming wood, but also voices shouting in the night. While your surroundings are completely opaque with thick gray smoke, you feel very strongly that there is something enormous next to you. Hira, you don't know what is going on. You just know you feel like you are in an extremely dangerous situation and should seek cover.
Gathering her wits about her, Hira frantically looks around for a place to hide.
Roll a perception check with disadvantage.
19.
As you move through the smoke, you find a broken down stone wall that you are able to tuck into the corner of, assured that you are hidden from view. But you hear a low, rumbling speech that seems to come from the base of your neck.
Why do you hide at night?
Hello?
She speaks.
In the smoke, two red eyes, alight, piercing through the haze. They stand at about your eye level. The sound no longer feels like it's coming from within you, but rather from this point.
Stand.
For the first time, Hira does not rise to the challenge, but instead shrinks back instinctively like a child.
I said, stand.
A chain fires out from the smoke, wraps itself around you, and forces you up to your feet.
Now, walk.
The chain slacks a bit, and the red eyes disappear further away into the smoke.
With trembling feet, Hira follows the chain.
You begin to shuffle forward. The chain maintains the same amount of slack, and then begins to pick up, and begins to get pulled too fast for you to keep up. As you hurtle through the smoke, the red eyes approach rapidly. You are about to collide with this figure. The smoke parts, and you see yourself as you sit up with a start, staring into the mirror at the foot of your bed.
Drenched in sweat, Hira shakily gets out of bed and looks closer at her own reflection in the mirror.
Hira, roll an investigation check.
17.
At first, you see nothing. Your reflection inspects you back as your eyes flit across your form. Satisfied, you begin to walk away, taking a step away from the mirror, and your reflection does not move.
Upon noticing this, a shiver runs up her spine. Out of the corner of her eye, she looks at the mirror again.
The reflection turns to face you simultaneously. You see the corner of its lip lift in a smirk, and then you feel a strong itch at your wrist. Staring down, you see the red marks that showed themselves in Osisa's chamber. And as you look back at the mirror, your reflection is normal.
Hira clenches her fist, feeling the dampness at the center of it, and then busies herself with sweeping her room, looking for any sense of control.
As you sweep, the red chain tattoos in your arm never dissipate, and you feel a strength in your arm you are unaccustomed to. And interlaced within the chains are intricate patterns. Make a religion check.
21.
There is writing within each chain. Runic writing. It is a very deeply old iteration of Infernal, which you understand. Over and over again, the runes for the term Promised One.
Hira walks to a small chest at the foot of her bed and takes out her bracers, nervously straps one on over the tattoo, hoping that it will hide it.
Hira, there is a knock at the door.
Hira excitedly walks over, eager for company.
Standing at Hira's door is Timpani. At an immediate glance, you can tell that Timpani has sloppily matted his hair down and curled up his mustache at the ends in a crude attempt to look fancy. He wears the exact same filthy barn coat he always wears, but it's buttoned all the way up to the neck, and his collar is pressed down and flattened. All right, you ready to go shopping?
Yes, I think I am.
Come on!
Okay.
Timpani leads Hira downstairs, knocking on each door as he goes. Come on, Frog, we're going shopping.
Oh, more books!
Come on, Poogs.
Okay, this thing will be out of the oven in 2 minutes.
Fairy, you up and ready?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Timpani leads the group out into the trash-littered urban park in front of the apartment building and huddles up. He pulls out the now slightly wet from the mud in his pockets envelope from Pumat Sol, his cousin, and empties 100 gold each into each of their hands. The coins coming from an extra-dimensional space within the envelope. My cousin came in big time this month. He's been having a really successful year, I guess. Must be nice. Let's all split up, hit the shops we want to hit, and we'll meet back up for lunch. Sound good?
Poogs comes out of the front door holding a tray of 6 cupcakes. Okay, I'm ready to... Oh, Timpani, you look nice.
No, it's nothing. It's for nothing.
Where you going, buddy?
Don't follow me. It's for nothing.
Are you going to the Wisteria?
It's for nothing. Don't follow me, okay? It's just my errand outfit, and that's all it is.
I think it's a really nice outfit.
Thank you, Frog.
It's the same outfit.
Well, put a little little grease here and there, touch it up real nice. Have a great day of shopping. Enjoy the spoils of your hard work. I know it's been a rough go, but everything's going up from here. Timpani turns on his heel and walks down the block.
As Timpani walks away, Farah turns to the group. I mean, we're following him, right?
Yes, of course. That is the most suspicious I've ever seen him act. And when he makes his mustaches like my horns, you have to assume nothing good is going to happen.
I'm right behind you guys. Everybody roll a stealth check.
5.
28.
Dirty 20.
Poogs rolls a dirty 20 as well. As all of you carefully follow Timpani, he rounds a corner. Everyone quickly moves to a jog to try to catch up with him, and then Farah eats it on a garbage can.
Farah starts rifling through the trash can, her head stuck in it, hoping that Timpani won't notice it's her.
Timpani's head appears back around the corner. Poogs, Frog, and Hira are able to hide themselves very quickly.
Farah, what are you doing eating garbage?
Hungry?
Can't you just wait for lunch? I said we'd meet back up pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I forgot about lunch. You're right. Bye.
All right, that checks out. Timpani heads back on his trail.
Poogs pops out from a hay bale. Okay, quick, everybody go. Farah, re-roll your stealth check.
7.
Farah immediately kicks over another trash can. Shh, what are you doing? Timpani appears back around the corner and sees everyone.
Okay. I'll believe it if one of you guys is trying to eat garbage before lunch. But all 4 of you guys are trying to eat garbage before our appointed lunchtime? You guys are following me, weren't you?
Okay, so the thing is we were looking for a gift for you, and this seems to be your speed.
Hira holds forward an empty wooden bucket with a crack down the side.
Hira, roll a deception check with disadvantage.
11.
Reslayers, I understand that you're curious about my comings and goings in Vasselheim, but I would really prefer a little bit of privacy, and I think that I've earned that much from the 4 of you guys.
Timpani's got a crush.
Oh,
He has to crush what?
he likes someone more than like.
Oh, so he doesn't have to physically crush anything, like with his foot or something.
No, but whoever he's meeting up with has the ability to crush his heart.
That sounds like it would hurt.
As you look back, Timpani has gone invisible and walked away.
That's fair.
Ah, dang. All right, well, I got cupcakes to give out. Tried a new recipe. Let's see how it goes. You guys want to take one?
Farah takes a cupcake and takes a bite.
It is delicious. The batter is thick and moist, and there is a delightful sweetness to it.
What's the new recipe?
Well, I halved the amount of salt that I put in because you guys seemed to be a little put off by how salty the cupcakes were, and then I added a bunch of that condensed slug milk that Freedom gave me.
I think that really did the trick there.
All right, great. Well, I'm glad you like them. That's awesome. I gotta go find Bongo. Maybe he'll take them now that they're not so salty. Have a good shopping day, guys. And Poogs walks away down the street.
Hey, Frog, when you looked through the tome, was there anything interesting? Like, monster-wise?
Oh, yeah. There are so many details and dates and, there's a lot to go through. Did you have any specific questions?
I was just thinking, if we're shopping, might as well find stuff that might help us.
That's a great idea. I don't really know the city. Where should we go first?
Farah, Frog, make history checks.
9.
24.
Farah, you know there is a pretty expansive library in Vasselheim's city center.
Do you want to see more books?
Frog enthusiastically nods her head.
There's nothing more that I'd want.
All right, let's go.
Farah and Frog turn and see that Hira has already gone.
Hey, Farah, while we walk, could you tell me, like, an old story from your adventuring past?
Okay, 80 years ago on the Menagerie Coast, there was a pirate ship, and this is the story of how I sunk it.
We cut away from Frog and Farah to find Hira, perusing the many shop fronts in Vasselheim's outer markets.
Having a lot of experience of offloading goods that one shouldn't offload in public, Hira casts an appraising eye around the market, looking for a shop that deals in animals that are a little bit on the dangerous side.
Make an investigation check.
19.
As you're walking through the outer markets, towards the outside of the outer markets, you see a ramshackle wooden shed bordering what looks like an enclosed pasture, blocked off by big wooden fence posts. Exiting the shop is a figure clad in dark robes, clearly holding something bulky under their coat. And as they pass you, you see a small reptilian head curiously look back at you from over this figure's shoulder.
Hira stumbles into the man and says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry," and tries to relieve him of his quarry.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
21.
As you bump into the man, trying to lift the creature, he turns around with the force of your impact. You see that you have come up on nothing, and a sharp blade is pointed at you.
Hira immediately puts her hands up. "I said I was sorry."
The man never shows his face, simply places his blade back in its scabbard, turns, and walks away with an oddly draconic-looking creature under his arm.
"I have to have one." Hira walks into the shed the man exited from, having failed at attempting a free sample.
Immediately, a musky, manure-like smell hits your nose.
It reminds her of home.
Your cloven hooves clomp on the wooden floor, alerting the shopkeeper to your presence. One second. Turning around, wiping muck-covered hands on a large smock, is a purple-tinged tiefling man with a long, thick beard in a braid down to his chest. He looks tired and a bit surprised to see another of infernal blood walk through his door. How are you, Horns? What can I do for you?
Hira blushes a bit and says, "Well, I was looking for something cute for my..." She pauses for a moment. "Grandmother for..." She pauses again. "Grandmother's Day?"
Something for Grandmother's Day, sure. You're looking for a companion for your grandmother?
Yeah, something to help her on her way, keep her company.
Well, I have a few dogs that I have...
No.
No? You're perhaps a cat or something like that.
My grandmother, she's really, she goes out a lot. She's very independent. She needs something sturdy, like something to protect her, help her.
Sure. I have a couple of unhatched prospects for you, if you like.
Do you have, maybe a sturge or...
Do I have a sturge? That would be highly illegal for me to have a sturge. You would never catch someone in this establishment with anything that would not be completely permitted by the Vasselheim authorities.
Hira employs her ear for deceit to discern the veracity of this statement.
Roll an insight check.
15.
The man is clearly winking without winking, and trying to imply that there might be more illegal wares should you ask very specifically for them.
Well, she is rather fond of cloaks that you wear about your shoulders. If you had maybe like a baby cloak that a baby could wear.
I don't have any cloaks, per se. But if you are looking for something that is very at home in a dark environment, I've heard of something that has a, shall we say, a very hooked beak. Something that will hatch with not only a hooked beak, but other features that mimic such a geometric proportion. Are you catching what I am laying down?
I mean, that sounds perfect.
But I wouldn't know anything about that. Unfortunately, I cannot help you. The man walks to the back of the shed, opens up a trapdoor as quietly as he can. Please leave my shop through whichever entrance you prefer.
Okay. Fair's fair. And Hira walks towards the back of the shop and slides down the hatch.
And furthermore, I am completely insulted that you would come into an establishment such as mine and insinuate that I would break Vasselheim's sacred laws. He pulls a curtain as he follows behind you in the basement. There is a beautiful black egg with white spots sitting in a makeshift nest of brown twigs. He slowly puts on gloves, picks it up off of the nest. You are aware that if I were to sell these creatures to just anyone who walked in, I would be jailed for decades. I would never see these creatures who I take care of. I would never put them at risk. He hands you the egg. For less than 75 gold pieces.
Hira's eyes go wide and take on an almost watery quality. With trembling hands, she takes the egg and snuggles the surface of it.
You take 1 point of acid damage.
Hira does not care. Oh my god, baby.
The shopkeep hands you a pair of thick leather gloves and holds his hand out expectantly.
Hira takes the leather gloves, tosses him the 100 gold, and says, "Thanks for the little smell of home."
Get out. Despite the admonishment, the man smiles with gratitude in his eyes.
Hira creeps out of the shop the same way she came in, this time with the egg carefully stowed away under Frog's poncho.
Cutting back to Frog and Farah.
Oh, wow! So you blew up the whole thing?
Yes.
Oh, whoa. Farah, you're the coolest ever.
Farah dusts some trash off her shoulder.
Thanks. I know.
Frog and Farah find themselves at the steps of a resplendent library in the center of Vasselheim. The folks walking along the streets are dressed in extremely luxurious-looking cloths and draped in shining gems.
Whoa, is this a castle?
There's an awful lot of security here for a library.
Well, books are very important, as is the protection of knowledge and those who receive it. We should go up there.
Frog rushes up the stairs.
Farah follows.
The guard steps in front of you as you walk up.
One non-member guest inside the library at a time.
Why?
We don't allow the rabble to come in pairs. Cuts down on the thievery that way.
I don't know her. We're a separate party.
Yeah, I don't know her either.
Oh yeah, you just ran up the stairs together in anticipation.
She kind of followed me. But, sir, I just saw this library and I think it's so wonderful and I just had to go in.
Well, you're more than welcome to. Before she does. And then she can go after you.
Okay, that's fine. You, complete stranger, can go ahead of me.
Okay, thanks, Farah.
And Frog rushes into the library.
You can wait down there, Farah.
That's not my name, but okay.
Farah, as you walk down the staircase, perusing the shop fronts around, make a perception check.
25.
A very particular aroma hits your nostrils. One that is at once spicy, sweet, savory, pungent, changing as it drifts past your nose. Curiously, as you look over to where the source of the smell seems to be, you see, squeezed into the center of two larger buildings, a tall, narrow-looking shop with mismatched pastel doors and window frames that feel like they should all belong to different businesses. Above the largest, most central door, there is a large written sign in whimsical script that reads, Dr. Fitzwaggle's Fantastic Pharmacy.
Farah goes inside to see if she can get any more pheromones.
As you enter the store, a shop door chime is triggered, but instead of a jingle, there's a loud quacking. In front of you is an impossibly tall wall of potions that extends up through the entirety of the interior, only accessible by one rickety-looking ladder on squeaking wheels. At the very tippity top is Dr. Fitzwaggle.
Salutations and welcome to my shop. The little man slides down the impossibly long ladder and lands in front of you, a little too short for the counter in his own store, and steps up onto a step stool to get a good look at you. He wears a lab coat that is absolutely blasted with various bright colors, a jaunty, colorful bowler hat, and little half-moon spectacles that seem to have various levels of prescription that can be swapped in and out via levers on the sides. He switches to a more powerful prescription as he looks at you, his neat, pointed white beard twisting into a big smile.
Oh, you're that woman who found my patented all-purpose pheromone. I hope they came in handy.
It did, and that's why I'm here. You're possibly the only person in Vasselheim that I trust at this point.
Well, that's a very nice thing to say.
So I'm wondering if you got anything else for me.
Well, I got all kinds of stuff here. In fact, this might be a mutually beneficial situation. You see, I'm always whipping up high-grade, highly experimental new concoctions. I could always use someone out in the field testing them. Would you maybe want to be that tester? You'd get 5 gold a test run and be the first person on the market to use my incredibly potent potables.
Make it 7, you got a deal.
You drive a hard bargain, I was willing to go up to 10. 7 it is.
Dr. Fitzwaggle jumps down from his step stool and begins rummaging in the back of the store.
All right, I got something here for you that's extra special. No one's tried it out yet, but it promises to be something really unique.
He comes out with a little box and flips it open, revealing a sort of EpiPen.
I present to you Dr. Fitzwaggle's patented Instajam. With my proprietary plunger technology, it hardly takes any time at all to get its effects working. And boy, howdy do they work. They'll get you out of just about any jam. I'm still working out some of the kinks, but that's where your testing comes in. Does that sound like something that would appeal to you?
Farah thinks about this, intrigued.
While Farah thinks, we see Frog, having entered the Vasselheim library. The walls of the bookshelves are immensely tall. There are several floors that all look out into a central administration area, and you are very quickly lost amongst the books.
Frog takes in the shelves upon shelves of tomes and books, her eyes glowing a little bit extra from the excitement.
Frog, make a perception check.
6.
Entranced, you don't notice that someone has come up along the side of you until they are there and speak up.
It is good to see you. Functioning.
Hello? Thank you. I'm doing my best.
Frog turns to see a figure as tall as the average human, with a thick, dark hood and cloak that obscures most of their body. From what you can tell, they wear a heavy bronze armor and what looks to be a bronze mask with gold filigree along the edges. As they begin to speak towards you, Frog, the mask moves with their jaw in a familiar visage.
It seems you still seek knowledge, like it was ingrained in our people.
Howler? You look like me.
The figure turns to you, pulling the hood back slightly, and indeed, you see a similar type of Aormaton visage before you.
What's your name?
You can call me D. You, like most of us, are beautiful.
This is so... I don't know what to say. I don't remember who I am.
Dee gives a slow nod and places a comforting hand on Frog's shoulder.
What I can assure you is that what there once was matters little, but it's who you choose to be today.
You watch as the figure D kind of glance about this quiet library, a bit of anxiety creeping from the carrying of your two voices, as whispered as they might try and be before meeting Frog's gaze.
Perhaps we should continue our conversation in a more private and contained space, if you trust me.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the books are pretty cool, and I really like looking at them, but I'd rather look at you. Just because, you look like me, and that's pretty cool. Sorry, I'm rambling.
There's a faint crack of a smile that curls across Dee's face. The figure reaches forward and takes Frog's hand and walks through the library to a private reading room, nodding to one of the nearby librarians for approval, carrying a secondary tome underneath his arm before closing the door behind and turning back towards Frog.
I apologize if I've spooked you, but I recognize you since our first encounter. It's not often I have the opportunity to check up on those I've awakened.
With the planning, recording, and editing that go into the Reslayer's Take, Nick and I aren't left with a lot of time for exercise.
Luckily, our sponsor, Tonal, has helped us use the time we actually have to create personalized workouts just for us. Tonal learns from your movement and provides suggested weight recommendations for every move, and they even give you detailed reports on your progress.
They create personalized programs and workout suggestions based on your individual goals. Like me, I want the rogue-like agility to backflip over dungeon traps.
And I want the berserker strength to hold a heavy door up for my friends so they can escape the undead hordes thanks to my heroic sacrifice. With Tonal, you can do it all. It's like having a personal trainer at home with you.
Unlike traditional gym equipment, Tonal uses adaptive digital weight to advance your training techniques.
Whether you're a professional athlete or a cake-loving dungeon master like us, Tonal can be trusted to help you become your strongest, most fit self.
Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off your Tonal purchase with promo code RESLAYER. That's Tonal.com and use promo code RESLAYER for $200 off your purchase.
Tonal.com, promo code RESLAYER for $200 off.
Let's roll those athletics checks.
Creating really great retail experiences is tough, especially with multiple stores, teams of staff, fulfillment centers, separate workflows. It's a lot. But with Shopify Point of Sale, you can do it all without complexity.
Shopify's point of sale system is a unified command center for your retail business. It brings together in-store and online operations even across 1,000 locations.
Imagine being able to guarantee that shopping is always convenient. Endless aisle, ship to customer, buy online, pickup in stores, all made simpler so customers can shop how and where they want and staff have the tools they need to close the sale every time.
And let's face it, acquiring new customers is expensive. With Shopify POS, you can keep existing shoppers coming back to your stores with consistent, tailored experiences and first-party data that give marketing teams a competitive edge.
Want more?
Yeah!
Check it out at shopify.com/r/ all lowercase and learn how to create the best retail experiences without complexity.
That's shopify.com/r/.
Cha-ching!
What's up, everybody? It's George from the Reslayer's Take. Hey, do you remember that feeling of your first critical hit? Or are you one of those people who are getting ready to start their first journey? I have a show for you. It's called Girls Who Don't D&D, because none of this all-female team of players had ever joined a D&D game before, or any other role-playing game. They go from learning which dice is what to challenging the gods themselves. They are surrounded by a beautiful and chaotic environment that has been described as a cross between Terry Pratchett's Discworld and Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it's a world you can be a part of too. That's because their listeners perform pre-recorded sections that fit into each show. How cool is that? Those parts and the rest of the show sound amazing, with carefully added music and effects that bring a touch of the cinematic to your experience. I think the most amazing thing is that they were complete amateurs when they started, and you should really hear how far they've come. It really does make you feel like you're sitting at the table with them. You can join this group of unassuming Australians, otherwise known as the Girls Who Don't D&D, on any device that lets you stream podcasts. But I'm warning you, this one is addictive, heartwarming, and heartbreaking, and very, very funny. And I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye!
You were there a year ago? When I woke up and was alive?
I was present to pull you from the wreckage, yes. Repaired what I could. Enough to, at least, leave you in the care of others that would bring you to your current life.
The monks, of course. Where did you go after that?
I've been many places since. Frog sees a distant look in Dee's eyes, one that seems to express emotional tangles, a mixture of joy, curiosity, and hardship, before Dee's eyes refocus back on Frog. I do not know how much you understand of our history, but it has been my personal goal, my charge, since I was awakened, to find those like us and wake them too.
So there's more of us?
There are. Not as many as one would hope. But such is the challenge of being forged in times of warfare.
Warfare?
I apologize. I have not asked what is your designation. Pardon the habit. What is your name?
I chose the name Frog because, well, they're such fascinating creatures. Amphibians, you know, they can exist in multiple spaces, and they can leap, and I can leap pretty far too. So.
Frog. I like that. Frog. I am called Devexian. I was the first of us to reawaken. I have found many of our kind, some beyond repair at the moment. You, however, are an outlier, as it seems that you were somehow jettisoned far from the collapse of our historical city.
Eeyore?
You see in Devexian's eyes a recognition and a flash of joy at finding someone who seems to be as driven by curiosity as he is.
Indeed. What do you know of Eeyore?
I only received a few flashes of a beautiful place full of people like me and you, living amongst the world, open and proud.
Some were, yes. Some were.
You see a shadow fall across Devexian's face.
We are created special, but initially only to serve. And not all of those ends were gracious, but we seized our souls. We seized our right, and we rose in a city that is both beautiful and terrible. But history does not define who we are, Frog.
Frog watches as Devexian leans in for a minute and places a thumb along Frog's jaw.
Might I inspect you?
Of course.
Devexian takes Frog's chin and turns Frog's head to the side and seems to trace some markings that are well hidden behind the jaw and neckline of Frog.
ALL-1. Archivist, Librarian, Lorekeeper 1. Some elements of our nature transcend time, it seems.
That was my designation?
It was. But I do not think the designation informs who you are.
What does inform us?
Your choices now, Frog.
Are there any choices I can make to support you?
Devexian takes a few steps away from Frog, his eyes washing over the nearby books within this small reading chamber.
I walk through many dangerous places, Frog, but all with the hope, the dream, that one day it's not just about finding those of us that once were, but to truly make more.
Frog smiles. Her fingertips trace where Dee's left off.
Did our people have... I've heard the word family a lot. Did our people have families?
There is a silent pause, a gulf between the two of them, before Devexian looks up, stoic, cold.
You can choose a family, but when we are created, there ends the cycle of our creation. For now.
And Devexian's face curls once more into a welcome smile.
Someone or something had the secret to make us long ago. I will find the secret.
That sounds like quite a noble journey. Thank you for finding me and waking me up. I'm happy to be alive.
What is it you want, Frog?
I guess I just wanted to know more about the world and hopefully through that, more of me. I mean, I don't know how old I am or this body is. There's so much I've missed.
It seems there may be some pieces that are still missing as well.
I'd like to find them.
Come. I may still have some of my notes when I recovered you.
Oh, you have a notebook too?
I keep records, yes. In my line of work, it can be important. Let me see your notebook.
So you wouldn't exactly be made of jam. It's really more of an ooze, you see.
How long does it last?
But just an hour.
Could I slither through grates?
Oh, big time.
I'll take it.
Oh, hot dog. All right.
Well, wait. When I say I'll take it, I'm testing it out for you.
Yeah, sure. I'll give you 7 gold. Just wait right here. Dr. Fitzwaggle dips below the counter once more and comes back with 7 gold. 1, 2, 3. And then he just kind of dumps the rest onto the counter. That should be 7.
It is 8.
And here's the Insta-Jam. Now come find me after you use it, and I'll set you up with another experimental potion and 7 more gold.
Farrah pretends to count the coins. There's only 6 here.
My mistake. Dr. Fitzwaggle gives you 1 more coin.
Beautiful. I'll let you know how this goes. And Farrah walks out.
All right, thank you so much, Farrah. Come again, Dr. Fitzwaggle.
As Farrah steps out of Dr. Fitzwaggle's fantastic pharmacy, down the stairs and rounds the corner, she disappears into Vasselheim's markets to look for her friends. And we pan back to the shop she exited and see nothing but a burned-out, abandoned building. Farrah's crossbow is lit up active on her back. Back in the library, Frog and Devexian still in the private reading room with their notebooks splayed out on a table between them, share their knowledge back and forth. Devexian, holding a quill, writes in Frog's notebook.
I could only do as much as I could find with the scraps of what remained at your crash site, pulling you from that wreckage. But if pieces of you still remain, they might be scattered not far from where we stand, or at least from where you landed.
And, when you say crash landed, I was in an apparatus of some sort?
Devexian draws his metallic, gauntleted hand out from beneath the cloak, and the palm divides into a lens that projects a minor illusion
of a brilliant, arcane city, more beautiful than any modern-day Exandrian city has ever attempted to achieve.
Eor was once the pinnacle of civilization, but it incurred the wrath of the gods and was struck from the skies. Some managed to escape. Most perished, or worse. Whether it be by your will, another who cared for you in that time, or by sheer fate, you were thrust from the core of that terrible tragedy and landed here. And hundreds of years later, you live anew.
The illusion vanishes from the Devexian's palm.
You can seek more about your past if you like, but it does little to inform who you are now.
Thank you. I'll be sure to remember that. Is there anything you'd have me do?
The Devexian contemplates for a minute, thumbing through a few pages in his leather-bound notebook before clapping it closed.
I see you are cursed as I am with an endless curiosity, so as you put together the final pieces to make you whole, whether it be through dream or shreds of lost evidence, there be any clues to how our spark of life began, hold them close and find me.
I will. So I must return home? I mean, not my home, where I crashed? There might be clues there?
It's possible. Though at the rate of impact, who knows how far such pieces were thrown. With luck, they might still remain, but these lands are crawling with entrepreneurs. In fact, I've been hearing rumors of a merchant, a self-titled merchant, more of a treasure hunter, tomb raider, whatever they may call themselves, near Spectrum Gorge in the Demethor Valley, who seems to be entranced at recovering shreds of our past.
He wants us?
Anything from the time we were crafted can draw a hefty sum.
Oh, I see. You know, I have some friends, and, I think we're pretty tough. Maybe I could, give him a talking to or something.
I bet you could.
The Devexian sits up very tall and looks out towards the doorway of the library.
My path keeps me doomed to wander, and I cannot stay long. The unfortunate reality is, while we seek truth, there are some that might seek to undo ours. So just be careful who you express your nature to.
I'll be careful, and I hope you will be as well. I hope this isn't the last time I see you.
Frog holds her hand out towards him.
The Devexian reaches out and clasps it, making eye contact with Frog.
No, I don't think it will be. Frog, you are special. Do not ever forget that. You are here, not because I brought you, but because you were meant to be. And whatever you once were, what lies before you is what you wanted to be. I'll find others like us. And maybe one day, maybe we can find family.
That sounds, really nice.
There is a knock at the door.
Hi, so sorry. We have this room reserved if you could wrap this up. Thank you.
The Devexian immediately whips its head on a swivel towards the door.
We'll be right out. For the sakes of everything that is mighty, just be patient. My apologies. Vasselheim can be a bit stuck up. Be safe, Frog.
Thank you. For everything. Oh, is it okay if I sketch you in my journal?
We have 3 minutes left on our timer.
Okay.
Quickly. As Devexian strikes a awkward attempt at a heroic pose.
Oh, yeah, that looks really, that's a nice pose, yeah.
I want to make sure the jawline sticks out.
Oh, yeah, the shadows are hitting it just right so that there's like a nice, edge to it. I think it's really good.
Does the hood add mystique or should I pull it back?
Maybe half off, so it's giving a little bit of mystery, but we're still getting a little bit of you know what I mean?
I like that. I'm sorry, I'm not used to being the center of attention.
Back outside, still in a kind of daze, Frog slowly moves down the steps of the library to see Farah walking back towards her, holding a little wooden box with the script, Dr. Fitzwaggle's Fantastic Pharmacy, across the front.
Did you find out anything interesting?
Yeah. A lot, actually. And not even from the books.
Okay.
What's that in your hand?
Oh. You'll see.
Poogs, with big wide eyes, rejoins the party, sans cupcakes. Hey guys. You guys didn't eat those cupcakes, did you?
I mean, I ate it in front of you.
But you just had one.
Yes.
Okay, it's probably fine.
Now, why would you ask that question, Poogs?
No reason. Just wanted to make sure that everybody enjoyed them. Are you feeling okay, Farah?
I feel great.
Okay. Then there's nothing more to talk about.
Hira saunters over to the party nonchalantly and says, "Okay, are you done with the library? I hate libraries."
Oh, Hira, you would have really liked this one, I think.
Why?
I have a lot to tell you.
I'm really interested in hearing it. You know, me, I'm kind of the opposite of you. You go digging, and I don't want to know anything about me. Aren't you ever afraid you're going to find something out about yourself that you can't forget? The future's ahead. We have to live for today. Who cares about yesterday?
I guess that's a really wise thing to say. But I wouldn't mind learning more about you. Only the stuff you want to share. Do you have a favorite color?
Hira stops short for a moment. I like gold. Is that a color?
I think so. And kind of like a state of mind.
Yeah.
Farah, do you have a favorite color?
Brown.
It's practical. It hides dirt well, speaking of.
Timpani comes tripping down the street, continually looking back behind him with an emotion you've never seen on his face before: embarrassment. Half of his slicked hair is matted up into the air, and there are bits of ceramic pottery sticking out of various tufts of his hair. His whole front is caked in potting soil.
How'd it go, buddy?
I don't want to talk about it. Let's just go get lunch.
Timpani, it seems like you did some crushing after all.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Let's just go get lunch.
The Reslayers head off into Vasselheim to find something to eat. We find ourselves on a hillside amongst bent and rotten trees, bare of leaves but dripping with fungal tendrils that extend all the way to the ground. There is a figure moving through the darkness, trotting slowly on the crunchy leaves underfoot. Grim Heldwell, sporting a scraggly 2-day beard, ascends Dead Man's Table. A wild desperation in his eyes, as well as a deep-seated exhaustion. His robes are tattered. Dirt streaks across his cheeks. He looks like a madman. As the rain batters him with icy droplets, he finally crests Dead Man's Table, stepping upon the black slate of stone where the Reslayers Take fought the Timberblight only a few days ago.
The Timberblight of Dead Man's Table. Such an intimidating force of nature are you, bested by a group of incompetent amateurs with barely a month of experience between them. Pathetic. Osisa told me all about you, O great and powerful druid, as she was stripping me of my titles and banishing me from Vasselheim. An impressive story, to be sure, but look at you now. A memory forgotten. A tale told to scare children into being quiet at bedtime, and another useless impediment to this blasted Re-Slayer's take. They have taken everything from me. A crackpot and his moronic misfits. I will not be remanded to exile. I swear on all the power I have and will obtain that I will.
There is a choking, bubbling laugh at Heldwell's feet. The slate has gone soft under his boots, and a toothy mouth opens in the jet black mush, laughing with a raspy and yet reverberating tone.
Oh, I've been right where ye are, my wee wizard. The Sphinx has done what she does best. Waste potential.
You're alive. How?
You think a light touch of radiance is enough to put me out? Let me ask you, lad. Did she tell you my story before she sent you on your way?
She told me that you slew members of the Take, that you attempted a forbidden ritual, and that the spirits of the forest struck you down.
Osisa doles out her lies as usual. No, lad, the ritual did not fail. It just isn't finished yet. The old tongue is so hard to translate. I needed a number of souls to initiate my transformation, and I harvested many a ripe soul from these lands. But I miscalculated the full total. I needed more than I anticipated, and that's where you come in.
What? You want my help?
Oh, I'd be so honored if you'd at least consider it, Grim. I know I seem a frightening thing, but I can be a gracious lord, and I can give such gifts.
There is a glint of silver from within the muddy mouth. What sort of gifts?
Patience, Grim. All in good time. What is your answer?
There must be a catch. I'm not a fool, Timberblight. How do you benefit from this?
I'll need you to collect some things for me is all. But don't think yourself an errand boy. You'll be a herald for a worthy purpose. And when the task is done, you'll be rewarded as an equal.
Heldwell is quiet for a beat.
Well, we have an accord.
Good. And Grim, please, call me Putridius.
The mouth opens and loses its form, and reveals a small, goblin-made dagger, coated in the necrotic shine of the Timberblight's poisonous aura. Heldwell drops to his knees, reaches for the dagger, and as he grasps the hilt, sharp black thorns prick his skin, and suddenly he is overwhelmed with a rush of magical energy that shoots up his arm and into his body.
The pact is forged. May the rot guide you.
The Re-Slayer's Take is a Metapigeon production in partnership with and distributed by Critical Role Productions. developed in association with Hero Club. Game mastered and produced by George Primavera and Nick Williams. Featuring Nick Williams as Timpani Guff, George Primavera as Poogs, Jasmine Bhullar as Hira Agnihart, Jasmine Chiong as Farah, and Caroline Lux as Frog. With special guest Matthew Mercer as Devexian. Also featuring Travis Willingham as the nightmarish voice. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
So you wouldn't exactly be made of jam. It's really more of an ooze, you see.